Hello everyone, welcome back to another All Sports Now YouTube video. This is the Week 8 NFL Picks video. We're getting close to Halloween and nothing is scarier than the Bears offense. In the worst way possible. For those of you who are new here, my name is Cory. I'm a pessimistic Bears fan, but I'm also the main host for the All Sports Now podcast and YouTube channel. This is one of many different types of videos that we do here. We do about 2 to 3 a week, but this weekly NFL Pick series is one that's been going on for a while, and as you can see in the bottom left there, I didn't have too good of a week last week. The Seahawks' lack of ability to score, despite having DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett in there, is the reason that I did not go 6-7. So I almost ran the risk of having my first losing week of the year, but I'm 70-37 on the year, so I think it's going pretty well so far, and it's time to recover. Before we get going here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've been growing so much. I am so thankful for every single one of you. I'm not even going to say the number because it keeps growing by the day for subscribers. Make sure you like this video, comment any feedback, comment if you disagree with me, agree with me, and why. I love interacting with all of you, and all of you have really been helping the channel grow so much. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. I'm going to break down all 15 of these games super quick for you guys. The Thursday night matchup is between the Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. I wanted to give Green Bay a chance going into this one. I really did, but no Devontae, no win for Green Bay. Look, Arizona is allowing 16.3 points a game. That is best in the league, tied with the Buffalo Bills. We know what they can do. They've got 2 seismic shutouts this year. So even with that considered, I wanted to give Green Bay a chance going into this game, and then I heard that Davante Adams is out because of COVID for the next 2 weeks at least. There's absolutely no chance. I understand how good the run game in Green Bay is. They're going to try and use it to establish the play action, but who is Rodgers going to throw to? I think Tanyan will get some decent targets. A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones are great out of the backfield, but if I know they're going to run the ball a lot, you know they're going to run the ball a lot, I'm pretty sure the number 1 defense in the NFL for points allowed is going to know that they're going to run the ball a lot. I can't speak enough on how productive Kyler Murray has been, how much of an essential weapon that DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and A.J. Green, we have to give him the credit he deserves, have been. Buda Baker out of the secondary. They've got some great linebackers there as well. I don't think this is the Steelers, guys. I don't think this is a team that's going to start out undefeated and fizzle out really quick as long as they stay off Twitter and TikTok. I think that the Arizona Cardinals are for real, and they're going to show us why this Thursday in a huge tester matchup against a Green Bay team that's still going to be solid, but they're going to get blown up. The next game I'll go over is one between 2 teams that are going in different directions, to say the very least. Carolina sucks. I'm going to say it plain and simple. I had Sam Darnold in my lineup replacing Justin Herbert last week for fantasy because I figured he's going against the Giants. He should be able to do well. 2 points, everyone. 2 points is what he got me. I needed about 17 for the win. Nonetheless, I think that Atlanta is trending in the right direction. They're continuing to use Cordero in ways that almost nobody in the league is being used. Out wide, they'll put him in slot sometimes, even though he's a big body. They'll have him in at fullback. They'll put him in goal-to-go situations and have him at running back, and he'll just truck someone or jump over the entire line. Oh yeah, he's a kick return specialist too. Cordero Patterson is just a specimen, and I think he's going to be another factor in this game. Mike Davis will do well. Kyle Pitts has really been bursting out and finally showing us his full potential ever since the London game. And I don't know who's going to be in there for Carolina right now. At the time this is being recorded, Matt Ruley hasn't confirmed anything. But Sam Darnold's bad. PJ Walker's good, but he's a backup, and if he does come in, he'll be coming in on limited practice reps, just getting first-team reps this week. I don't like this team without Christian McCaffrey. They haven't won a game yet without him. They nearly fell apart in a game against Houston a few weeks ago now when Christian McCaffrey got hurt halfway through. I have Atlanta all day over this team. The next game here is the Tennessee Titans versus the Indianapolis Colts. Both teams coming off a win. The Titans blowing out and hurting Patrick Mahomes. Derrick Henry's in for another big day, everyone. I don't think that's a big shock. Whether he's running the ball or passing it, I guess he heard that you have to be a quarterback in order to be the MVP, so he started the game off with a passing touchdown on that atrocious Kansas City Chiefs defense. Nonetheless, Derrick Henry's going to have another good day. This defense on Indianapolis is improving. They were mostly hurt in their secondary. I don't care who you have on their line. Derrick Henry's running him over. And Ryan Tannehill has been looking more and more efficient. A.J. Brown is really breaking out. This team is looking very complete. They have some holes in their defense, and Carson Wentz only has 1 pick this year, although with limited games played. But I think Derrick Henry takes over time of possession, scores a ton of points for this team, and ultimately dominates the game once again. The next game I'll cover here is a good old AFC East matchup between a team that has one win and the Buffalo Bills. I think I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills here. Josh Allen is still putting together an MVP campaign among another few people. Singletary and Moss have been a good two-way backfield. I think Cole Beasley's really been stepping up as of late. And this defense is pretty suffocating. And I don't think that Jacoby Brissett or Tua Tagovailoa or whoever they want to put back there is going to be able to do much with them. Myles Gaskin is one of the most hot and cold running backs I've ever seen. Mike Gesicki is making me eat my words. He was in my drag and drop. I dropped him after the first week, and he's a top 10 tight end now. He's not going to be much of a factor against the suffocating Bills defense. For fantasy, he may get some garbage points in garbage time, where he's just getting catches at the point that it's a blowout, but I see Buffalo doing what they've been doing to a lot of teams with bad records this year, and that's blowing them out of the water. The Cincinnati Bengals against the New York Jets. Can I move on? No. Okay. Yeah, Cincinnati's got too many weapons. Joe Burrow is looking extremely sharp. I don't want to say MVP candidate yet, but definitely comeback player of the year candidate after that gruesome knee injury last year. He's throwing dots to Jamar Chase. He's throwing dots to good old T. Higgins. And Tyler Boyd, not as involved so far, but he's still getting in there as well. Ozuma. Joe Mixon is coming out of the backfield and doing amazing things despite the fact that his backup was out, so he had to kind of see an increase in reps. This offense is so high-flying. I can't say enough about this defense and Jesse Bates and many others. And the Jets can't protect whoever's going to be back there. Zach Wilson's out, so we're probably going to see Mike White. They got Joe Flacco, as if that's going to fix something. I'm just messing around, guys. The Jets have to get quarterback depth if their main guy goes down. But the Jets are hopeless, and I don't see them pulling this one off at all. Now we have an AFC North matchup that actually could shock some people. I think it can go either way. Pittsburgh's been trending in the right direction, but Nick Chubb is back. Baker Mayfield may be back. I'm looking at the game right now, and there's no conclusive decision on him. I think Nick Chubb's going to have a really good game. TJ Watt's been very disruptive on the defensive end, but this Pittsburgh team can give up rushing yards if they go up against a quality contestant. Plus, this is at home. I think the dog pound will be very involved. I'm looking for a big comeback game from Baker Mayfield to whoever is healthy. Odell should be in there. Jarvis Landry came off the IR last week when they stole a win from the Denver Broncos. And the defense has been really on par. Najee Harris has been looking better and better and better, but Big Ben Roethlisberger is looking washed up, to say the least. Juju is out for the year, so Claypool has to be their decisive number one. And this Pittsburgh team, they're just not in a good spot right now, and they're in a very competitive division as well. The next game, this could be an NFC Championship matchup right here, guys. I'm sorry, I can't clown people. I'm a Bears fan. Do I really have a right to clown other teams? So, Nathaniel, I'm going to shout you out. You told me that this team was going to beat Las Vegas last week. I believed it. You reassured me in the comments. I'm going to cut you a break. Las Vegas looks very good this year. But I do think the Eagles are going to take care of business against the Lions. The very intimidating 0-7 Lions. Someone asked me last week if Dan Campbell's on a hot seat. Look, I think he brings a lot of spirit into the locker room, but production has to be judged, and this team is yet to produce. They've lost on some heartbreakers, 2 game-winning field goals in consecutive weeks. To the Ravens, the 66-yarder from Justin Tucker, and then to the Minnesota Vikings on a 50-something yarder as well. So they've had some heartbreaks in there, but they're not winning football games. They're getting blown out by a lot of teams. Jalen Hurts is going to ball out today. Look for a career day from the second-year man out of Oklahoma. I have Philadelphia getting an angry win today. They're coming off of a game that I thought they should win, so they're going to take care of business at Ford Field in Detroit. Now we have the Rams against the Texans. The Texans keep getting tough opponents. The Rams being another one. The Rams had a bit of a shaky start against Detroit in Matthew Stafford's, not his homecoming because the Rams actually hosted the game, but there was an onside kick, a fake punt, lots of different trick plays in there that you just wouldn't expect, but Detroit has nothing to lose. Does Houston have much to lose? They've got Davis Mills under center who's holding his own, a couple of running backs back there in Mark Ingram, Phillip Lindsay. I just don't think this defense can hold up. Zach Cunningham's the only significant name on that defense. They just gave up Whitney Merciless to the Packers too, by the way. So they're pretty much selling out, looking for a draft pick here. And the Los Angeles Rams are going to help them with that draft pick. They're going to hand them a big loss here. Cooper Kupp is still the number one wide receiver in almost all categories, which is just insane to me. He'll have another nice day. Darrell Henderson is one of the most consistent bruiser running backs in the league right now. He's playing like an old-fashioned Marshawn Lynch. I absolutely love it. So I have the Los Angeles Rams by a lot. The next matchup I'll cover is the 49ers in Chicago against the Bears, both coming off tough losses, especially the Bears in, what has been a weird couple of weeks. They've had to go up against Aaron Rodgers, who is a part-time owner of the Bears now. I didn't know that until he informed the entire crowd at Soldier Field. And then Tom Brady threw his 600th touchdown on them and his 601st. And everyone else just had a really good day as well. And Mike Evans gave the ball away because he had no clue what was going on at the moment. So Cameron Erickson, you watch these videos. I try and shout out a lot of you guys who I know are fans of certain teams. Or girls. Cameron, sorry. I'm going to stay unbiased as I always am with my Bears. If the predictions had panned out how they should have, they'd be 2-5. So I am not a biased Bears fan. If anything, I'm pessimistic. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I think the Bears are going to run the ball to death, and I think they actually take this one. Jimmy Garoppolo has looked subpar, to say the least. Justin Fields hasn't looked too good either, but you know who is going to be the difference maker in this game? Khalil Herbert, the 6th-round man out of Virginia Tech. He's had 97 yards against the Packers, and then he had over 100 yards against a Tampa Bay defense that was yet to allow any running back in the league before that game to get over 70 yards. Keep in mind, this was against a team that won the Super Bowl last year and has only gotten better. Khalil Herbert is a monster. I'm going to acknowledge Nick Bosa. I'm going to acknowledge the rest of that line, Eric Armstead. I think that San Francisco is an amazing team, and they have a very good defense, but they just don't look as sharp as they did last year. The instability at the quarterback position doesn't help their case, and I think Khalil Herbert honestly runs this offense into a win. The Bears are going to limit the amount of times Justin Fields can throw after his 3-interception performance. I'm almost sure of it, but with Matt Nagy being out with COVID as well, I think the Bears have a decent shot. Here's a fun game. The New England Patriots against the Los Angeles Chargers. A lot of people are probably going to say, oh, on paper, the Chargers blow this team out. Do they, though? These two teams played last year when Cam Newton was under center, and he wasn't exactly producing for New England. And New England won 45-0. Granted, they were going up against a 5-11 Chargers team under Anthony Lynn that lost so many close games. That one was not one of them. And the defense was just Swiss cheese towards the end of the season, constantly giving up leads. Herbert had to put up 40 points to really keep that team in the game or give them a chance to win it. But I do think that Los Angeles takes this one. Mike Williams is having a career year right now if the production stays up, especially with the extra game this season. Keenan Allen's really starting to hit his stride. Austin Eckler, when healthy, is phenomenal. Justin Herbert is really showing us that he can read defenses, and he's not just a gunslinger. And although that I love J.C. Jackson over there in New England, and I do think that this defense is not to be messed with, and I also think that Mac Jones is going to have a pretty good game against a stand-up defense, a defense that loves to press, and a defense that has a lot of turnovers and pass deflections in Los Angeles. I have to go with Los Angeles at home here. I think Justin Herbert's going to be able to air it out, and if he isn't able to, they'll dink and dunk to Eckler. Something's going to go right for this team. A lot more is going to go right for Los Angeles than New England, but Mac Jones, looking good, looking good. Jacksonville against Seattle, two teams that are struggling. You wouldn't expect someone to say that when Seattle is in a game, but without Russell Wilson, we kind of have to. Geno Smith looked okay when he came in a couple of weeks ago, and there wasn't a whole lot of film on him because he hasn't played in a few years, but he turns the ball over a lot. This offense just doesn't seem to have flow. They just can't get going. They don't have a run game. They haven't in a while. Even when Chris Carson is there, they just don't run the ball a whole lot. So you've got him trying to chuck it deep and establish some chemistry with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, guys he usually doesn't get reps with in practice. And with me saying all this about Seattle, you'd probably think, yeah, I have Jacksonville winning it, right? No, I don't. I really don't. Jacksonville beat a very damaged and befuddled Miami team under Brian Flores, and I don't think they're going to be able to do the same thing against Seattle. Seattle's offense is going to wake up. Geno can run around a bit too. Trevor Lawrence is going to test the defense of Seattle, but I see both teams scoring a lot, and I think Seattle's going to come out on top. Just from a pure talent perspective, I think that Pete Carroll will decide, hey, let's dink and dunk it, get some screen passes, and have some blockers downfield for Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, two guys who are very hard to tackle. Tyler Lockett's more of the slippery, small, fast type, and DK Metcalf will just truck you because he can. So I do have Seattle in this one. Now Tampa Bay against New Orleans, an NFC South matchup. I have to go with Tampa Bay here. New Orleans is a hit-or-miss team. Alvin Kamara is still one of the better running backs this year, but he has taken a bit of a step back. It's a different identity under Jameis Winston. I still don't think that Jameis has the keys to this offense, and they look awkward at times. And against this Tampa Bay offense with, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown when healthy. They're lucky Robert Gronkowski isn't back there, but Cameron Braid is, and O.J. Howard is as well. And they have the defense with Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Winfield in there. When Sherman gets healthy, he'll be dangerous too. With the players on the field, New Orleans is going to have to score like 40 to keep up, and I don't think New Orleans can score 40 against this Tampa Bay defense, so I have Tampa Bay by a bit. The next game I have here is going to be the Washington football team against the Denver Broncos. If you watched the previous video, you know what I'm going to say. If you didn't watch the previous video about a team that I don't think is going to win for the rest of the season, I'll spoil it, but still go watch it. So I think Denver is just a dumpster fire. Vic Fangio can coach a great defensive-minded team, but he cannot get his team to score early. And even though their secondary is really good, they take a while to figure teams out, and that offense is not built to claw from behind. So I have a healthy Antonio Gibson and Terry McLaurin and Taylor Heineke, who actually had a pretty nice game against the Packers despite losing, taking the W in this one. The last game I'm going to cover is between Dallas and Minnesota. I don't cover the Monday Night Football games. Those are going to be on the Instagram and my other social medias that are linked in the description below and right below me, right here in this little box. But this last game I'm going to do is Dallas and Minnesota. Dallas's offense is way too productive. Minnesota is looking befuddled. They keep losing and then getting Dalvin Cook back. Madison's been a good replacement. There's just not enough cohesiveness on that offense. Adam Thielen's been really quiet, and although Justin Jefferson is having a really good year, by the way, in the comments, tell me who you think is better, Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. I think Chase is having a better year right now, and by the end of the year, we'll see that he was the #1 wide receiver when both of them were there in LSU for a reason. But let me know who you think's better, because I think there's a debate to be had there. Okay, back to this game. I need to stay on topic. I think Dallas has way too much firepower on offense. They're getting Michael Gallup back this week. They already have CeeDee Lamb, and they also have Amari Cooper. Those two are like sharing the #1 wide receiver role right now. There's also Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz. Dak Prescott's having a great year. Ezekiel Elliott, I keep saying it, he looks like prime Ezekiel Elliott from a few years ago. They're just going to put way too many points up for that Minnesota offense. Behind Kirk Cousins, who's doing okay to keep up with, I trust Dallas's defense a lot more than Minnesota's right now as well. So that's all I have for this video. Make sure you check out the past weeks. Make sure you check out some breakdown videos I've been doing in between the weekly NFL predictions as well. We've got some NBA content coming up for power rankings. We've got some baseball reactions as this World Series wraps up, this wild one between the Braves and the Astros. And we also have a podcast that comes out every single Monday. All of that stuff in the description. Make sure you blow that up. Make sure you subscribe, put the post notifications on, like the video as well. And we will see you next time right here on All Sports Now.
But you know that I'm still over